Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Relix, and today we're just going to go over real quick, just a little Kings news here. Yesterday, David Rittich, or technically our third string goalie who came in on the season, he just signed another 1 year, $1 million contract to stay with the Kings for the next 24-25 season. To me, this is great. This is excellent news. As far as goaltending is concerned, I felt like Rittich played the best overall as far as performance. Now, I'm not obviously he didn't play as much as Talbot did, so who's to say that he is better or not? However, through the time that he did play with us, since Copley was injured, I felt personally that Rittich was a better goalie than Copley was. And again, I said it throughout the season as well that goaltending necessarily was not the issue for the Kings. Even during the winter time where we were going on a huge losing streak, I did not blame the goaltending. Yes, a couple goals here and there, but it was not the goaltending that was the issue. It's the same issue that led into the playoffs as well. The team itself, in front of the goalies, both the forwards and the defensemen, they couldn't pinch in and score goals to win games. And so, seeing that Rittich, the way he performed and that he's coming back for only $1 million, like that's great. That's perfect for the Kings, especially since we are kind of tight on the cap, just because of some signing issues. But let's go over real quick some of Talbot's achievements this season. So, like I said, 1 year, $1 million. He was expected to be the third string goalie. His record on the season was a 13-6-4. So obviously more wins than losses, which is great. He also got 3 shutouts during that time. So again, yes, scoring is important, but goaltending is also just important. And getting shutouts, that helps confidence as well. In doing so, he got career highs this season in save percentage and goals against average, which is amazing. To be honest, I didn't really think of him as a huge NHL style goalie, even when he was with the Flames. So when I first found out who he was, so it's not like he's like the best goalie out there, but to see that he was able to perform for the Kings throughout the season, I'm very happy with that. His signing as well comes with a no risk sign, just because he can be the starter or a backup. As you guys know, we went in the season with 3 goalies, $1 million each, which is amazing because that allows us to use any of the goalies at any time, and if someone got injured, like Copley did, he had surgery, then we can just bring the next guy, and they'd be able to play relatively at the same level. All 3 goalies, I would say, are at the same exact level of skill, as far as goaltending is concerned, so that's amazing to see. And then, of course, of the 98 NHL goalies this season, 98, he was ranked 15th in goals saved above expected. If you guys are into those kind of advanced stats, basically he basically saved goals, basically shot attempts, how do I explain it? Basically, he didn't allow goals to be scored on him or the Kings in general, and that's something that the goalie stats are kind of looking at nowadays. I know that I'm not the best at explaining this, but basically that's really good, saying that he was able to make game-saving, saves during games and, help the Kings get wins. The stats basically say that he saved approximately half a goal a game, basically. Like that's the average. And so, it tips the scale in the Kings' favors, who love to play defensive, right? So if it comes down to a 1-goal game, he can save that 1 extra goal with the statistics in mind. I'm not explaining it very well, I know. But in any case, so this is basically good for the Kings that he is doing so well. As far as overall performance, statistics, everything put together. It's a great signing for the Kings, and there's no risk in it, as well as the fact that the Kings are a little tight on the cap. Just to go over a couple more things as far as the cap is concerned. RFAs for the season for the Kings coming into the summer is Byfield, Grundstrom, Kaliev, Lizotte, and Spence. UFAs, RV, Lewis, Roy, Talbot, and Copley. Now, given what Copley's done, and as much as I love Copley, I don't think he's returning. There's just no way he's going to be back, especially with how the season went for him in the few games he did play, as well as what the organization is looking for. Personally, I felt like he was betrayed by the Kings because, like I said, going to the last playoffs from last year, he didn't get to play the games. Instead, Korpisalo played, and he made us lose. And yes, I'm not exactly blaming the goaltending 100%, but I felt like Copley was the reason why we were even in the playoffs last season, and yet they didn't want to play him at all. And then look who's gone. Korpisalo's gone. So that was a waste. And then, of course, this year he played a few games and wasn't the best statistics either. So I don't think he's going to be returning as a King. As for Talbot, he has made interest that he wants to stay a King. So that's fine and all, too. I think he played all right. I didn't think he was going to be the goaltender for our team, but he ended up proving me wrong, as well as being able to, steal some games for us, honestly. So I'm very happy with his performance as well. Do I want to see him back? Yes and no. It doesn't really matter to me. To be honest, the goaltending it's never been an issue for the Kings necessarily. Again, I really put a lot of emphasis on the forwards and D, and especially the D core right now, because it is not at a level I would like to see it at, especially since they got rid of Jersey this past season, and then, I watched his performance with the Coyotes this season and how well he did on a losing team. That's 1.7 mil defenseman that just went away, whereas we kept, Roy, Spence, and so on and so forth, as far as defensemen, and then on the right, and then of course we signed England on the left side, where we could have had Jersey play left. He was playing fine. Some errors, but that's because he's right-handed on the left side. So I think the Kings definitely made a mistake in that department. But overall, I think the D-core needs to change. So that's why UFA is concerned. I don't think they should sign Matt Roy again, and that would definitely clear up a little bit of space. I don't think Trevor Lewis is going to be back as well. That's just my opinion. I think for what we signed him for, we didn't really see it towards the end of the season. In the beginning, I mentioned even during the preseason, Lizotte, Lewis, and I believe it was Grundstrom were aligned to start the season, and that was an amazing line. The fourth line itself, them three being the fourth line, were literally the second best line, only the first line. So that was a shock. And then, of course, throughout the season, they gradually kind of disappeared. Unfortunately, yes, Grundstrom got injured, but at the same time, Lizotte and Lewis still played a strong PK duo. Unfortunately, they too couldn't score as much as I would have hoped. Obviously, playoffs, Lizotte did get a goal too. Lewis almost got a goal. But overall, it was a team effort, and we needed to get more scoring. So, yeah, as far as signings are concerned, like I said, this is good for, Rittich signing for $1 million. We'll see what happens during the offseason. Hopefully the Kings figure stuff out. But, yeah, as far as that is concerned, I think Talbot will stay as long as he goes for cheap again as well. If he goes for another $1 million, then that's perfect. We have our two goalies again. That saves us a lot of money. And, hopefully things look good going forward. Otherwise, who knows? I guess we'll maybe see a third goalie again, or maybe even another goalie just to take the starting position. We'll see. But that's it for now. I just want to talk about Rittich a little bit, just because it's pretty cool that he signs for a cheap contract, and hopefully he plays well for us again going into the next year. And of course, still watching the playoffs. I don't really have much to say as far as the playoffs are concerned. Questionable things here and there. Obviously, fans complain here and there. The referees. Like I said during the Kings games that the officiating has not been the best, and it's still an issue going league-wide. I do think there are very questionable calls throughout the entire league, but I'm not going to get into it. Either way, my Rangers for the East just won. They going on to the conference final in the East yesterday. Bruins, I hope they win tonight, as well as the Oilers. They lost to the Canucks yesterday, so hopefully they can make a comeback as well. So the two teams obviously I want to see in the final would be Oilers and probably Boston, but looks like the Rangers are definitely going to take it. So all the best for Jonathan Quick and his Rangers as well. But we'll see what happens. So if you guys like this video, hit the like button, comment down below what you guys thought, and of course subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.